Hello, everyone. Hello. All right. It's Monday, fun day again. Okay. Normally Mondays are my brain break day. Who else? Who else? Who else brain break day is it? Let's give you guys some time to come on here. Brain break. That's the day you have um to just say, okay, like they say, I'm not adulting today. I'm not using my brain at all today. You gotta have a brain break day. Okay, especially women. I'm sorry, this brain, women's brains, it's always multitasking. So we need a brain break day. Who has brain break days? Because if you don't have a brain break, then your brain is just like random farts. Like, okay, that didn't make any sense. What's wrong with you today? That's Monday. That's Monday. That's all day Monday, every Monday for everybody. No one wants to do anything on Mondays, right? So Monday should officially be the brain break day of the week. So, okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no work getting done. Friday, no work is getting done on Fridays. We all know that. I know that should be a brain break day, but really that's the break that your brain needs. And it still needs to think, so you still need to think on Friday because the weekend you gotta do it up right for the weekend because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, it's been a tough time. So if we only worked on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, let's vote. The majority wins. That's kind of democracy we live in. Okay. So it's still trying to give you guys some more time to get in. Last week was great. You guys really y'all fooled me. I'm trying to end the show and y'all coming in digging deep. I'm like, what was these comments before in the beginning of the show? So we 2 minutes in, and that's fine. You guys can pick up where we left off or we can continue on. It's up to you guys. So at this moment, I want to open the floor for whomever had to say something at the end of the last show. This is your chance to say it now. Well, my brother at there was in here commenting. I was like, yeah, that's a good topic. We got to get on that aspect of the topic. But if you're not here when it starts and then you jump in later, then we got to keep moving. But it's important that you guys chime in because it doesn't work without relationships. Let's say relationships don't work without two people. So you have to have diversity in a relationship for it to work. I don't care what kind of relationship it is, business, um, friendship. The diversity in the relationship is what makes the relationship function properly so that you're happier longer and you get to do more things. So I want to see what those comments were last week. Everybody had so much to say at the end. Come on, guys, we got to get in earlier. I would love to stay later, but the problem with staying later is, um, yeah, we run over the show. So let me see. Um, let's see. I'm live. Okay, so that was my boy. That was my big brother, Bobby. I see you out there, bro. I see you. Okay, and I'm so happy for you. You have no idea how happy I am for you. So anyway, chime in if you want to. Uh, so I want you guys to say, for example, last week we were talking about it's Women's Month. It's Women's Month. So the women, a lot of times we don't understand how. For example, I gave the human hierarchy of needs chart one of those times, and I want to share that again here so we could talk about that in the Women's Month. So, for example, a lot of people they're saying they're not getting their needs met, and a lot of people don't understand what you mean by you're not getting your needs met. What do you mean? So there's a chart for everything, right? There's a pyramid for everything. So this particular pyramid shows you the basic foundations of the human needs. So if you're in whatever aspect of your life, whether it's work, whether it's a friendship, your relationship with your mother and father, no matter how distant they are with you, you have a need. And in this hierarchy of human needs that Maslow created, it gives you a little bit of a view of what that means so that you can fix it and work on yourself. So why would I say this instead of having people pay? Now I understand. I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand that it's like everybody has to eat, right? Everybody has to eat. But a lot of times I'm seeing that there's a greater need out here. So why would I just make everybody pay when I could give you a little bit of something that can help you along your way? And then you could come to that understanding of what you're going to sacrifice in order to pay to get that kind of help that you're looking for to fulfill your needs. It works differently. I'm not worried like a lot of preachers say, oh, they're going to come over. Hey, Sister Regina. They say, well, you're going to watch me. You're going to come to my service and then you're going to go out and try to emulate me. You can't worry about that because like that song say, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Right, Sister Regina? Ain't nothing like the real thing. So you can get what you need and still need more from that person who knows. For example, as an industrial organizational psychologist, they have to they have the resources to help you, but they also have to outsource as a team leader if you need specific things for your business and for your business to function more effectively. And so that's why you should never worry about your help being obsolete. You helping, and like when you're on the job doing your job, you're not gonna get paid for doing it as well as you doing, right? So you know that. Are you gonna stop being as good as you are? No. What you're gonna do is you're gonna move around until somebody can pay you according to what you feel is more comfortable suited to your needs, because again those hierarchy of human needs have to be fulfilled in order for you to feel comfortable in a relationship, whether it's the work relationship or mother daughter, father sister, parent parental relationships, and even a relationship with your child. Everybody is looking for this very fundamental need to be met. Now at the very bottom, once again, since it's Women's Month, I'm going to start with the women's perspective so everybody can have a greater in-depth understanding of what women want to see. Okay, so a lot of people say, well, how they get together? How she, because you have a physiological need. That's your first need. That's the fundamental at the bare bones need. At that need level, you a woman wants to see, um, okay, can I be safe with you? Can Are you going to take from me where I have to share too much? I need water. I need X amount of water. I need this. I need that. What at the very bare minimum? The very bare minimum. Can you do for me? What I have needs. I need food. I need sleep. I need shelter. I need clothes. And you can always reproduce. Okay, people can always reproduce, but can you afford to be productive in that manner? And a lot of times you cannot. So they're looking for someone or some way that they can fulfill that need. And a lot of women, especially women, they have looked outwardly to fulfill that need, because a lot of times you can't fulfill that need as a man because you have too many things going on, and the industry, they want to see more things from you, such as, oh well, and it's not as realistic as a lot of people want to make it seem, because the businesses want you to see, well, do you have years experience and do you have a degree? And it's like it's hard for you to do both, because you can't meet all of your needs doing both, because you have to sleep. That is a fundamental need. You must sleep. And a lot of women, they like, I know you working, honey, but this night you can't sleep tonight. You got to stay up. I need you to help me with the kids. I need you to help me with this. I need this. Take out the trash. Do something to help. And a lot of women understand this about to be a fight. This is going to be a fight. But because it's Women's Month, I want us to look more on the women's perspective of things. And even though they weren't getting paid, they weren't getting recognized for all their life's work, whereas a man, he go to work, he's getting recognition for his life's work, because he's going to get a plaque, he's going to get a raise, he's going to get certificates to certify. whatever level he's functioning at. A woman, more oftentimes than not, she is not going to get that kind of recognition, and she's not going to get paid like that. And in Women's Month, we need to focus and be more vocal about the needs that women have, because quite frankly, the needs that women have are far more expensive and costly than the needs that men have. And that's why a lot of times women are saying more and more now that the very physiological needs that they have are not being met, because in a woman's physiological needs, a part of her need of shelter and clothing is the need to provide for. But I know, right, Taisha? Lord send him, let him know, because he has to know this kind of thing. Because if he doesn't know, okay, yeah, her clothing is going to cost more to me because she wears more clothing than I ever wear, and he wants you to wear them clothes because some of them clothes, they do different things and they look a different way. And you want to say, oh, she popping. And when she finished taking off the eye candy that the world can see, it's some more eye candy under there, but it costs some money. So her physiological needs is not being met because she's not getting paid as much as the man. She's getting paid 5 cents to the dollar of every man. And depending on the location that she is in the world, she's probably getting paid even less than that. So a lot of times people, that they're not talking about this on a regular daily basis. So we need to talk about that, especially in Women's Month, because the physiological needs of a woman outweigh the amount of money that she can actually make, because she has to buy uh what is it, hygiene needs. We'll talk about it like that. We'll say hygiene needs, which I feel like it should be like $1, something really affordable. So her man can come in and say, look, I done bought 5 big old bags of this. Ooh, love me, recognize. Okay. That's wonderful if he could do that. And that's going to make her feel like he is meeting her very fundamental needs. A lot of men complain because they say, these women want too much, and the money that they want costs too much. And then she has her undergarments, which costs a lot of money for a really good supportive bra, for example. And a lot of men, they say, well, she's spending my money and her money too. You have to understand, her undergarment costs more than your undergarment. I don't care what brand name is on it, it still costs more than yours. That's a bare minimum, bare bones need. Now, I'm not saying you have to buy name brand everything in order to meet those physiological needs for a woman, but I'm saying if you show her that you are trying to help her meet those bare minimum needs, those D needs. D needs are called the needs that motivate you to go to the next level. Okay. And the next level is the safety needs, the personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. All right. I know it's a lot of people like we can barely get the safety in the African American community. I feel you. But what we need to understand is there's a safety in unity. Okay. There's a safety in unity. And the women are now, especially in Women's Month, they're getting together. They're unifying because the most vulnerable community out of all the communities there are is the women. The women are the most vulnerable because more oftentimes than not, yes, Eddie, thank you. Thank you for co-signing that it costs a lot. But you have to understand that's why it means so much to a woman when they see a man actually trying to help meet those needs. And men, if you listening, I just gave you some Easter eggs right there. Rewind, rewind. Come on now, get on board. So what you have to understand is a lot of it is the women are coming together like every community should come together. But the women, why is that more important? Is because it crosses cultures, it crosses genre, it crosses whatever your manner of employment, lifestyle, it crosses all those barriers to give voice to women who are at the end of everything, getting the short end of the stick in every way you could possibly think. And then men complain because they're like, well, in order for me to get her some sexy lingerie, I had to pay almost all the money I had left after paying child support, paying the bills, and paying to keep a roof over our head. I had to pay almost all I had left in order to get her some sexy garment so that we can have a little fun at the end of the day. And it's okay because she appreciates it. And that money lasts longer than what you may be thinking because now not only can she wear those things, but she has a different mentality than a man. She's saying, this man loves me. This man is providing my needs to feel safe and secure, that he's going to provide so that we can keep building together. And that's the important key. If a man is always looking for a woman to feel vulnerable with, so he can expose more of himself with, so he himself can have his hierarchy of human needs met. We all have this. This is a fundamental situation that everybody, even businesses, have. They have fundamental needs. That's right. You can't always go cheap, Sister Regina, because it's going to break. Now, if a man he get a game system, he want that PlayStation 5. That PlayStation 5 costs a grip. It's about $500. And then that's just the bare bones of it. And then you still have to get a nice pair of headphones. You're not gonna go and get a cheap, flimsy piece of headphone gear. I know, right, Taisha? We all bargain shoppers, but sometimes that bargain is not in that dollar, and you have to buy what you have that you know your money can last. Because if you spend, let's say you have the last $50 you have, and you trying to buy a pair of headphones to play that game that you like, you gonna spend that $50 on that because you know it's gonna last longer than the $50 if you were to go to a restaurant, if you were to go buy something else that you're not using on a regular basis to build your mentality, because that video game is your escapism. That video game, I know it's real controversial, and yes, folks do need to sleep and wear sexy sexy garments, but at the same time, escapism is important too, ladies. I know this is Women's Month and we should be talking about the ladies, but if you think about it, we are talking about the ladies because I'm helping you meet the men's needs so that you can have that man that you want, not need. And a part of that is feeling safety in the needs that you have, your personal needs that you have. That fits into this category right here at the second level, where you have the need to feel safe, that the things that you want. I know we all have to have certain things, but it's a quality. And because that quality is met, you feel like, oh, okay, guess what? I just met my needs and I fulfilled them for a long term instead of a short term, and because I didn't go cheap. And yeah, a lot of times you can get away with a little cheap something, but a lot of times you can't. Because if you buy a pair of headphones and there's no quality to it, it's going to break anyway. You're going to wind up what? Spending more money. So even though you bought that headphones for $5, now you got to go back and find another $5 pair of headphones, and it's not going to last. Whereas if you go ahead and spend that $50 on that gaming headset, guess what? It's gonna last. You're gonna be happy, and you don't care what nobody else say. That was $50 well spent. Same thing with women's garment. But the issue here is now you have met your need and her need, because now she feels secure, she feels safe. Now she has some garment that can support her, and she's going to go out there and she's going to do more and bigger and better. And she's in her mind, she's going to say, "This man got my back. This man can supply my needs. So I'm going to stick with this man to see what else he can do, what else we can do." A good woman's going to say, what else can we do together? So she may not have the right words for the moment to say to help you feel like, well, keep watching it. Men love to watch women. Men love to watch you, and they watch it and they don't say nothing until it's too late and they've made a decision. So you keep on doing you and working what you do to supply these human hierarchy of needs. And a lot of times that means that you have a job. You bringing in some sort of money, which means that you too can pay for his headphones set to his PlayStation. Now he feeling like, oh wow, she bringing in a little bit more money, and I know how much of a sacrifice it was because she doesn't have that much money. that much money. Hey, if a woman show me lingerie, she wants. Okay. And guess what? The same thing applies for a man. You have to know what they want. And you can't. I saw a meme most recently. It's a young lady sipping some drink through a straw. And she's sipping on it saying, well, I told him sorry in my head a bunch of times. If he didn't hear it, that's on him. Ladies, gentlemen, you have to understand nobody can read your mind. And if you want somebody to read your mind, there's clues. There's clues. For example, even the best magician, he has a trick that he wants every time he does things. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we all take care of ours. Every good woman gonna take care of whatever she got that calls hers, and she's gonna take care of what she calls hers for as long as she calls it hers. But it's up to the man because the man got to come out here. You got to find her and you got to secure her so she know that you can do these fundamental needs. And of course, this at this level, we're still talking about the D needs. These D needs motivate you to do more and get to the next level, like property. You don't have to own it, but we have to live somewhere, right? So as long as you can pay them bills because you employ, she employed, and y'all pulling y'all resources together to meet each other's needs. I know, right? Hey, Falanda, that's my sister, y'all. Lala, what's going on? So the next level is love, belonging, friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. Okay, so a lot of women, they can't get their man to understand. Why is it important for you to meet my friends? Why you gotta put a label on stuff? Why you gotta all right now, guys, here's the answer. Here's the answer. Y'all better tune in, and when you get it, you better rewind so you can keep it. Yes, men do care about those holy draws though, and women care too. You only need one hole, guys. That's it. That's all. You don't have to wear them draws and keep on going. So what you got to do is you got to understand that nobody can read your mind. And if you want them to read your mind, you got to give them clues. Give them clues. Like a woman, when she wants your attention, she'll come around in that lingerie and she'll be like, you remember when you bought this? You remember when you bought this? And he'll be like, yeah, yeah. And that makes you feel good as a man. That makes you feel good as a man on different levels. She appreciates something that you did. She's showing love that you did something. She's recognizing something that you did and she wearing it to please you. And you know she wearing it to please you because she gonna do that thing she do that you like now that she's wearing it. Okay. So men, it does something for you when you're doing these sacrifices for these women and they appreciate that and they show their appreciation and these are the ways that they're doing it and doing these things they're trying to meet your hierarchy of human needs as well. That's love. Okay, and a lot of times a lot of men consider good food, good cooking, that's good loving. Okay, you consider oh my god, a man could be sitting at work oftentimes and he hungry. He done ate already, but he hungry. And you'll bring just surprise him and bring him some of your cooking. He'll eat that. That's some good loving. He'll put that in the jobs microwave and everybody's smelling it and everything, smelling all that good loving your woman just sent your way. Hating on you. Like, man, what your wife do? What your girl do? What your husband do? So it worked the same way with flowers, but at the same time, it's more to it than that. It's the sacrifice. And yeah, you will get more, Eric. You will get more because uh it's like we're always looking for more, but you have to appreciate the first thing before you can get more because outside of that, you have to you come to look like you don't appreciate nothing. So just like a little baby when a mom would sit there and say, well, um, that baby, he went to go potty and she'll talk about it and tell all her friends. If you if you feeling that way, if you really happy, if it's fulfilling your needs, then you're not gonna struggle to tell your mate, oh, this my family, this my people, this my friend, this. That's a part of that intimacy that you can't get just by having sex and and giving your time to that one individual alone, it's an intimacy level that women are looking at, they're missing. And if you're not doing it, they're going to go to somebody else who is, because they're always looking for somebody who can fulfill their human hierarchy of needs, just like men are. And they say, well, women out here trying to be men. It's not that. The head is the man, the woman is the help mate. So it may seem like she trying to be a man, but really she just trying to have her human hierarchy of needs met, and she watching you about closer than you watching her, because she's multitasking in her mind, and she's saying that, well, if this how you move around and this how you get stuff done, then I'm gonna follow suit, and that's how I'm gonna get my needs met too. And it don't matter, like Taisha said, she struggles in the food department. It don't matter on what department you struggle in, because I've seen so many people get so intimate in the relationship because they have the love, the feeling of belonging and the friendship, and they meet in the family and they meet in the friends, and they are making this connection where they're all working to fulfill the same need. For example, when your mate meets your friends are teaching your mate something they didn't know that can help them understand your human hierarchy of needs. Hierarchy means the level in which you value this particular thing. Some men, they don't care if they get a woman that can cook. Some women feel like, oh, well, I can't cook. A good woman should be like, well, I can't cook, but I can do this and I can do that. And I can learn to cook while I'm showing off these other skills and talents that I have that are suitable for a mate. So let me tell you, that connection, that's what they're asking. And men saying, well, you don't have to meet my family. You don't have to meet my friends. You don't have, they do have to meet them, because there's a certain level of intimacy at the very fundamental level of the stages of the hierarchy of human needs that must be met. And if they don't meet it, you're not going to be able to get what you need from that person. Okay. So that's why it is important for them to meet your family, meet your friends, and have that connection. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to get that deep. If you don't want to get that deep, guess what? You have a problem now, because now her human hierarchy of needs are not being met. Now you have a problem. Okay, so the next level, esteem, self respect, status, recognition, strength, freedom. That's where you have the problem at. You have a problem because now the self-esteem is there. The esteem in itself and of itself is low. And it's very difficult to regain what you lost when you take it away. For example, I'm so happy for those people who are in the spotlight that share intimate relationship information, because, for example, Sinbad, he said that he and his wife had gotten a divorce, but he found out that his human hierarchy of needs weren't being met with someone else. So he did what? He went back to his person. Okay? He went back to his person because he realized without his human hierarchy of needs being met at this level of the game, he will die. And that's what you have to understand. This is why in your youth, you are looking for people who fulfill those hierarchy of needs. And when you don't find that, you're gone. So that's why it's like, okay, I have to have respect. Men be looking at women like, you gotta have respect. Woman, if you don't get over here, if you could call her, woman, get over here, she better be able to say, man, you better come here when I call. And you better do what? What she said, because submission is a give and take. It means that if you can call me to come here, then I can call you to come here as well. And if I can't do that, then you are not meeting my respect, my needs of respect, my needs of esteem in any kind of manner. You're not recognizing me. And a lot of women, let's talk about that. Women are not getting the recognition that they are required to have to meet that human hierarchy of needs. They're not. You're not recognizing they struggle. You're not recognizing that that woman had your back, because you ain't give her a plaque for it. Like you got at your job. You didn't give her a plaque. And she raised them kids, so you go out and do what you got to do. She didn't get no bonus, no raise, so she could sign on again. Like she a part of the team. She ain't get no sign on bonus. She she need these, exactly, sister, uh Yolanda. The connections do matter. And that's what I'm saying. You have to make them feel like, okay, you've been recognized. And yeah, Eddie, you can't live without that. You cannot live without that. And you're going to keep on going until you find that. Appreciate the little things, and that is important because women recognize that. Women recognize that more often than men recognize it because men are physical. They feel like they want a woman to do a physical action to show along with the verbal action. Whereas a lot of times women, they say, well, you're saying one thing, but you're doing another. You're doing one thing, but you're saying another. And a lot of times they saying the same thing. Men and women saying the same thing, and it's just going over everybody's head. And that's because the recognition. So if you can find a way that you recognize. For example, God didn't do anything without us to recognize it means something more than what he did it for. For example, when God made woman, he took a rib from Adam. Adam had to be asleep. He God. He didn't have to be asleep. But God did something, in my opinion. God did something to Adam to prepare him for that woman in his slumber. I know that's too deep. I know that's too deep. But God didn't do it without a reason. He pulled that rib so that man can understand. You don't know what transpired because Adam doesn't talk about it and nobody wrote it down, not even in the Apocrypha. But God don't never do nothing without reason. And a lot of times people say, well, in my dreams, I saw God. When I was in a coma, I saw God. When I was in surgery, I saw God. Had a near death experience, and I had a conversation with God. Yes, you have to rise to the occasion and meet the people's needs, Eddie said. And that's true. This is the thing. When God pulled that rib from Adam, it made Adam understand, what does the rib do? The rib guards your heart. The rib guards your heart and all the things that are very vulnerable to you. And what you have to understand is the things that are vulnerable to you is that woman. She's vulnerable to you. So everything that you do hurts her. Everything you do builds her. Everything you do destroys her. So in Women's Month, if we are understanding that we are tearing down or building up a part of ourselves, a part of ourselves that we need because this is our heart. The most important thing in the human body is your heart because that heart gonna do something. It's gonna give your brain some time to heal. So if your brain dead, your heart's still pumping, your brain may have the time it needs to heal and come back to life in the manner in which doctors can understand or recognize that word go in that human hierarchy of needs. Yes, it applies to the medical field as well. And then you have the freedom that you need in that relationship to do other things. God did that for a reason. So when men are sitting there saying, well, women don't need to make as much as no man. Women don't need to work as hard as no man. Women don't this. A man he gonna be down sometime. And that woman does have to work as hard as that man in order to keep things going. Oh, she don't need to know how to lift this and do that. She's not trying to be a man. She's trying to be a helpmate that she was designed to be, the nourisher that she was designed to be. And the first person she was supposed to help to be and build is a mate. She's not, I understand a lot of people have their needs met different orders. But in this order that I'm talking about, the woman was first helping the man. She didn't have children. She had a man. And a lot of times people say, well, I wasn't her man. You just put a label on it. I don't care what you're saying. You was her man, and she did what she was supposed to do as a woman in order to get that child. And now, since you clowning and you don't know how to act, now she got to focus everything on this child that she bought because she decided to have that child. Whether you said whatever you said or not, she decided to have this child because she realizes this is another life that don't deserve to be done any worse than anybody else. So you have to understand when you are making these decisions, it's affecting you men. You can't just go around dropping seeds and thinking it's not affecting more than just you because you're either building or you're tearing down a woman in some sort of way, whether you recognize it or not. So you have to understand when them little things that you're doing for her, when you brag about your woman, when you sitting there and you eating her food at the job and everybody's hating like, oh, your wife made something again. Oh, your wife bought you that shirt. Your wife bought you that hat. Your wife do the most. That's good. But she needs to recognize that you recognize. And without that, you are not meeting her human hierarchy of needs. We can get into that a little later if you ask the questions. But one way that you can recognize is, you know how I told women in a different show that they should go on and find a way to play video games with you, because that's what a lot of men are doing. That is her recognizing your human hierarchy of need to um, exercise the freedom to feel safe, to escape, have escapism. A lot of times men have this escapism need more than women because they're facing a lot of different things, and they don't have the things that you have to fulfill your needs. So a woman, she can escape into her children and the love her children are giving her. Whereas a man, a lot of time, he's been dealing with a lot. And if he's around the children, it's going to come out on somebody. And that's why a lot of times the man just wants to escape and be away from everything. And women, we have to understand that. We have to recognize that and give the man the time he needs to escape from the things that he's escaping from before you can. And that's one of the ways that women do help men to feel safe. They are recognizing that this is something that you need to do. I'm going to give you this time and space that you need to do that. So moving on, that helps you to have the freedom, in the relationship to feel safe to move on to the next level. What's the next level? That's self actualization, desire to be the best you, and personal fulfillment. And now we've reached the level of B values. B values mean you are already, all of those D values, they've already been met. Those fundamental levels have already been met. So when a woman feels in this position, she is ready to get married. And a man recognizes that by asking her to marry him. And that is not a long transition because, like I was saying in the Love is Blind situation, a lot of these needs were already met. And they touched on them in a way. For example, if you build yourself one of these pyramids and you say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this person name on this part, every ladder of this hierarchy of needs. And every one of these ladders, I'm gonna put somebody's name in one of these parts on the side. On the side. So if you're dating someone, for example, or you're in a job and you're trying to have your needs met, put the need here right on the side of this triangle of human hierarchy of needs and see which job, if you don't know what job position you um, qualify for or you would be most happy at, get yourself this chart. Put the name of that job, put the name of that person, put the name of that thing right there. This People pay a lot of money for this. So you getting it for free. So I'm gonna help you out. But again, this is just a little bit of something. This is not individualized, but this is the bare root of that. Okay. Okay, Teddy. But look, what y'all do, and when you got your names by these things, right? Whomever it is, name that you see the most often, that's your person. Whatever job you say, well, I like so many things, and this job with this company, it does this. This job with this company, it does that. Whatever meets those needs, I promise you, go even in looking back on the different things that you've done, the different jobs you've had, plug the answer in here. Put it in there. And I guarantee your past jobs, you like, man, I did like that more often. And I did this and I did, and that did meet more of my needs. I think that's what I'm looking for in the future. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. And for example, a lot of times we understand we get to a level where we're growing all the time. We're constantly growing. And when we get to that level of self actualization, we can see that we are growing in a way that is outgrowing the need that we had in the beginning. So now we're looking for something more. So we have to keep communicating our needs to those people that we want. And you're going to see those names keep changing. Those names keep changing. And then that's a part of the individual conference that you have to, subscribe for. But that's on a different level. But once you see at the very minimum these hierarchy of needs, then you'll be able to understand why you are missing something. What is it that you are missing that is stopping you from reaching that level of self actualization? What's stopping you from meeting the desires that you have? What's stopping you from having that personal fulfillment that you looking out yonder for and you still not getting it? And you have so many people that you need in your circle that you can get all of these things met. What Sister Regina say? Good mates, bragging about their good mates. Yes, indeed. And a lot of times that's dangerous, isn't it, sister? Because somebody else is like, what? She doing what? What? He doing what? So then but that's a part of the self actualization because once you realize what you need as a person, you don't hate on nobody like that anymore because now you know how to communicate effectively to get everything that you need from the person that met all of your hierarchy of needs when you were building the relationship from the start. I know, right, Sister Regina? Men play it real close, don't it? They be like, my girl, I ain't trying to share her, but them video games, if you get up in it, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna be sharing your girl because there's other people on that video game and they gonna say something to that chick. It's gonna be game over because he is gonna curse them out. Okay. I can't even tell you the number of times Eddie and the family have we've gotten on a game and somebody has said something out of place and Eddie just snap off. Like, hold on, what you that's my and yes, it's like that. So they're always going to brag about what they the person that they have and they're always going to show some appreciation and we have to do everything we can to recognize on a regular because just like at your job you want to be regularly recognized in your relationship and a woman because it's women's month we're going to talk about women want to be recognized for the things that they do just like you men want to be recognized at your job for everything that you do and women don't want to be screamed at, yelled at, hollered at because you having a bad day. So when you having a bad day, if you need that escapism, you better communicate. Just like she can't read your mind, you don't want her to read your mind and whatever. Mind read ain't a part of the game. Don't do it. Say, well, I'm gonna get with you in a little bit. Let me escape right quick. Give me some time. That's why she apologized to you in her head, but you can't hear it. Because you want her to read your mind about as much as she wants you to read hers. And why? Because really, she was following your example, whether you recognize that you did that or not. She's following your example. And women do a lot of that. And men don't recognize it because they don't have a lot of self actualization that's required. Yeah, very few, but I don't know if there's very few. Hey, Matthew, because the thing about it is, a lot of times men don't know what they need till they get a good woman and show them what they wanted. You feel what I'm coming from with that? A man doesn't really recognize what he wanted, what he needed, and what he liked until he get a woman that shows him, wow, that is nice. That she may not want you to use up all that space all the time because um escapism. But we're not going to talk about men on this because we're talking about women. Women have escapism in a different format, in a different manner that men. When men are going to work, women they have time alone to themselves to dive in to their faith. Their faith more because they're alone more than men. So they dive into their faith more, which helps them to meet that self actualization faster, which helps them to feel that personal fulfillment faster because they have more time alone. And if you've ever been around a woman for too long, you want her to be alone sometime. You don't want to be around her all the time, especially certain times of the month. Leave her alone. She needs to be alone. She act like she wants to be alone. She look like she wants to be left alone. And so when you are able to reach your self actualization, you can reach the self uh, awareness because you have everything and you know how to communicate the needs that you have and the growing needs that you continue to have. And now you could do transcendence better. You could transcend to a level where, again, because you're already communicating what it is that you need. So when they're already communicating the needs that you need, then guess what? Now, when you get to that transcendence level, you're able to also communicate your need for spiritual time, spiritual intimacy with your mate. And sometimes women do not want to reach that level alone because they want a mate with them. Tip no words, okay, when we're working, but not much need break. Exactly, Matthew. Everybody needs a break. So women do a break differently than men. Okay, so women shouldn't get upset when a man say, "Okay, I want to watch the game alone. I want to play the video game alone." But just know that she right there to kick your butt in that video game because she has reached that level where she could communicate to you in that manner. So, getting back to Women's Month and the women's hierarchy of needs, you have to understand that when women have these needs met, a lot of men say, "Well, I don't know how to reach her. She's too complicated. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. She says I'm not doing this." The word meta motivation is just a big way, remember, of saying that you have accomplished all of these needs. That's the highest level that you're reaching. The D needs, they motivate you to continue to get the B needs. The B needs, just consider them as I have already accomplished this goal. I have embodied all of these things. And you'll find that a lot of times in relationships, the relationship that they have with the people last longer because they have reached these needs. They have fulfilled these needs. And it's not just about a man or another person fulfilling these needs for you or anyone else. It's the matter of the fact that some people understood that mentally, what they have done is they've built this pyramid. Your name is somewhere on that pyramid, and their job is somewhere on that pyramid, and they're like, well, this meets my needs. This does this does that. So, and they're moving it around like a game of chess. That's why women so good at it, guys. It's like chess. If you I don't want to give it all away, not for free. I can't give it all away for free now. But look, it's like chess. These are Easter eggs. This free streaming show is Easter eggs, and it's always there for you. So you could always rewind and rewatch it again and again, and it help open your understanding to a different level. And because I've already given you the bare bones, and I guarantee I gave you enough that you really wouldn't have to pay for it if you just think a little bit. Just think a little harder as how it applies to you and your situation to include your job and every relationship that you have. And I can guarantee you, if you listening to what I'm saying, you're gonna have a happier life. Those dark thoughts are going to start to be visiting you far more less frequently, and you're going to be fulfilling those times with more positive thoughts, more positive goals, and you're going to be happier. You're going to be happier. So if you imagine this chart, just think about this chart. Think about it. Look at that chart. Build that chart for yourself and put people's names on it, put people the jobs you've had on it, put the things that you know that you've done in the past to see your future, so you can forecast your future, so you can forecast what's more comfortable for you. So I'm telling you, if you do this, I can help you individualize it so you could get further faster, but that's gonna cost. But this free information that you get now, use it up and build and keep going, because a lot of times you have to understand, even if you go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, they'll tell you It's a large part of it is you helping yourself, because self actually they can only help you to the point that you divulge information. If you tell them, well, I'm depressed, and then ask you questions that's along those lines so they can determine if that's the right diagnosis for you in your situation. They can't do anything more than what you tell them. So the best person to help you is you. So how can you do that? Here's the key. That's why you go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist and they give you homework. Like, I'm not doing this homework. What you talking about? I ain't got no homework. I ain't been in school for a long time. I'm not doing this. I pay you to do this. I'm telling you, this is the free information that you could take. And if you want more individualized help, you know how to reach me. But let's get back to the free part. Yes, Falada, yes. So let's get back to the free part. So what you need to understand is, I guarantee you, make a couple of those charts. Make a couple of those charts. One for relationships in the different ways that you want. For example, don't do one with your kids. You shouldn't have a favorite kid. That didn't work out historically, biblically, faith, and other. Don't do that. Don't do that. So don't do that. And relationships, as far as relationships outside of you and your child, you as a child, the way you look at your parents and how they fulfill different one of your needs and how they don't fulfill your needs. That's deep, right? Some of us have estranged relationships with our father or our mother, and we need to understand how you don't feel my need. And that's what I'm lacking. If you know what you lacking, you know how to fulfill it. You know how to fulfill it. Present, because as long as, yeah, as long as a woman is still in a man's life, he gonna keep on trying to work it out. That's why they don't like to close the relationship. Women won't close it. Men like, don't close that door. Don't close that door. But they won't say it. They won't say it. But a lot of women, we realize we do have to close that door because we have to move on. And in order to move on, we have to have that we need so we can move on. And sometimes you're just not gonna get it. You gotta keep on moving. But if you put people's names there and you say, well, here's a chart for my parental needs. Now here's another chart for my needs of a mate that I need from a mate. And here's a chart, check this one out. Here's a chart where I lack as a mate. Now you can help you get better as a mate, get better as a child to someone else. Because now you have a chart that says, how am I not doing as a child? How am I not helping somebody else in this area? You know you better than anybody else. So you know what you're not doing. You know that you're lagging or you're not willing to do something. You know you. And that's how you know you can help you better than anybody else can as a start. As a start. So if you come to the table as a start and you tell a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor or a therapist, this is where I'm at. You come in there with that awareness, that self awareness. Now you're going to get further faster. And it started for free right here. Yes, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Is longer pressure. Now, some people, that may work for them. It don't work for me. My needs are in my chart, they fluctuate. So I won't say the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few because depending on where I'm at in my life, as and a lot of women, now, right now, a lot of women are feeling extremely vulnerable because they're always fighting for their rights. They're always fighting for feminism rights, um, um, cultural rights, and I want to get paid. It's my right to get paid as much as you. It's my right to have my living wages meet your living wages. What does that mean? That means if $100 goes far for a man, it should go just that far for a woman. And if it don't, she needs to be paid more so that $100 can meet her that need. For example, a man can spend $100 in a week, and depending on the time of the month, that woman $100 is gone faster than it did for that man because she has different needs that she has to pay money for. So if you go through that human hierarchy of needs chart, you're going to find a whole lot of things. And then when you find those things, you're going to see that you're going to see improvements. You're gonna see improvements on yourself and in your relationships with your job, because you're gonna go in there with a better peace of mind. You're gonna be able to sleep better. Can you imagine that? Some people, you sleeping, you're not resting. You're not getting rest. And why are you not getting rest? Because your human hierarchy of needs are not being met. And you're not really aware of that. But if you rewind, because I've already said it, if you rewind and you get what you need from this, you're going to understand how you can meet that so you can get rest. So you can be happy in moments that you can enjoy a moment. Sometimes people say that you're depressed if you are not enjoying those things that you used to enjoy as much as you used to enjoy it. It's a lot of times, though, while you out there self-diagnosing, let me tell you, a lot of times it's because you are not having your hierarchy of needs met, because you as a person are growing and you as a person are needing things that you didn't need before. So it's more difficult for you to fulfill that need doing the same thing. You can't do the same thing a lot of times and expect that you're going to continue to feel the same way that you felt about it before, because you need to keep growing. You keep growing. Yes, you do have to work on you, Taisha, before anyone else. And a lot of people don't know how to work on yourself before you can bring other people into it. And that's why I love to watch my brother Bobby grow, because he worked on himself before he got another person involved. And now, since he was able to reach all those hierarchy of needs, he's still growing now. Don't get it twisted. He's still growing. But because he was able to fulfill those needs and he examined himself and saw what he needed to change, what he needed to fix, what he could do, and what he wanted to change. That's the thing. I said it before. Got to watch those other videos. It's not that many. It's about 5 of them. You binge watch, close yourself in and binge watch those videos. It is about fulfilling those needs. And it's different for everybody because there is no chronological order, no logical order. And this is just the bare minimum, the bare minimum. So there's more to it than what I'm giving you for free. Everybody got to eat. So what I would appreciate is if you all would like, subscribe, and ring my bell. Okay, ring my bell so that when I'm on and we doing this, we can get right to the nitty gritty of it. And if you ask me in the open, I'll answer in the open, whether it's something that you would pay a lot of money for or not. I will answer it in the open because you feel free to put yourself out there and expose yourself. So I'm gonna give you something for that, okay? Something tangible that you could take with you and help you to build this chart and fulfill those needs a lot better. So I don't see nobody else out there offering they services for free like that. They professionally paid services for free. I don't mind because I love to help. And that's really the objective. Too many people out here hurting. Too many people out here needing and don't know how to fulfill that need. So what you have to do, you want to reach that level where, yes, Matthew, you enjoy living. And a lot of times we're trying so hard. Well, I need more sleep. Maybe I need to make more money. Maybe I need a different mate. Maybe I need this. Maybe I need that. You have to understand, it's a it's a depth to it. Some people say it's not that serious, but guess what my saying is it might not be that serious, but it is that deep. You may not want want to acknowledge that, because people say things like, I don't need no man, and a man say, I don't need no woman. I could cook on my own, I could clean on my own. It's not about that so much as it is about, this is what you want. This is a part of what you want. And if you see that human hierarchy of needs, you will then come to rephrase that as, yes, you do need that man. Yes, you do need that woman, because that is a part of what is going to fulfill you and help you to reach that level that you need. Thank you, Sister Philanda. And that's why I never worry about if somebody's gonna, come up and undercut me, or take my services for granted, or whatever, all these paranoias are when you doing something good. Because if you in every faith that I've ever known about, positive faiths that believe in the I am that I am, the God, the Alpha Omega, It shows that your help is not coming from the money you making. Your help is not coming from the people around you. Your help is not coming from what you thought it was coming from. It is coming from God who has that favor for you. The favor of man is one thing, but the favor of God can't be trumped because you can't nobody can be God given. So no matter how much I give for free, that's okay because I'm still going to keep on being blessed. And if I could, I would travel around giving this for free for whomever, because a lot of times the people that need help are the people who can't afford the help. The people who can't afford the help are the people who we now in the times of the pandemic call essential workers. These people need help. Now you out here, you're not getting the help you need, and now it's more obvious because now you acting in a certain way, but we needed you to act in a way that's a social acceptable manner in business, but you can't do that because you need help because your fundamental hierarchy of needs weren't being met. And a lot of times it wasn't about the matter of the fact that that someone else didn't fulfill it. You didn't know how to fulfill it. You didn't know how to fulfill it until the person that something came into your life learned how to fulfill it. So and you using them. So if you rewind, because I'm out of time, if you rewind and you watch it, I guarantee you're gonna learn something. I don't care how many times you watch it, guarantee you're gonna learn something new. And you keep on going through it because there's something in there that you didn't hear. It's something in there that you didn't pick up. It's something in there that applied to you differently than the first time you watched it. Now, I want you to go binge watch. Shut yourself in, binge watch it, and meet me again. And next time, remember, at the top of this very hour, you're going to come in next Monday early so that we could get right into the bare bones and ask me questions. Ask me questions. I will answer it. I will repay your sacrifice for free information. Okay? See you guys next time. Thank you all for being here. That's love. That's good loving. That's good loving.